Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Let's just dive right in today, because what we're covering represents a massive leap forward. We are unpacking Session 12, Agentic AI and Intelligent Analytics Systems. And look, this isn't just another incremental update in our understanding of tech. This is a critical threshold. We are officially moving away from analyzing static, passive models and stepping straight into the world of dynamic, self-directed systems. If you've been following the evolution of artificial intelligence, well, this is the exact moment where the paradigm shifts. Let's get started. Today, we learn to. That right there is our mission statement for this session. We aren't just looking at what technology is doing anymore. We are looking at what you will learn to do with it. We're making a fundamental mindset shift today. Consider this your invitation to act as an active participant in mastering this new era of AI rather than just sitting back as a passive observer. It's really all about shifting from watching AI generate answers to watching AI actually execute actions. So here's our roadmap for today. 1. Welcome to Session 12. 2. Defining Agentic AI. 3. LLMs versus AI agents. 4. Building intelligent AI workflows. 5. Designing intelligent analytics. And finally, 6. Real-world business applications. All right, part 1. Defining Agentic AI, looking at the foundational concepts. To truly grasp the gravity of this shift, we really have to unpack what it means for artificial intelligence to actually possess agency. Up until recently, AI was effectively just a super-powered encyclopedia. You asked it a question, it gave you an answer, and then it just waited. It had zero initiative. Agentic AI completely changes that. An AI agent is a system that can take a high-level goal, break it down into a sequence of manageable steps, and then independently use external tools to accomplish those steps. Think of it like hiring an incredibly capable assistant. You don't just ask them for a recipe, right? You ask them to plan the menu, check the pantry, order the missing groceries online, and schedule the delivery. An AI agent can literally search the web, write code, run that code, correct its own errors, and interact with other software. It is autonomous execution. We are moving from AI that just thinks to AI that actually does. Moving on to part 2, LLMs versus AI agents. Differentiating the technologies. It is absolutely crucial that we draw a hard line between a large language model, or LLM, and an AI agent. We see people conflate the two all the time, but they serve entirely different functions. An LLM, at its core, is a massive statistical engine designed to predict the next word in a sequence based on your prompt. It's totally static. If it doesn't have the answer in its training data, it just stops, or worse, it hallucinates. An AI agent, on the other hand, is a dynamic system that uses the LLM simply as its brain. The agent surrounds that brain with memory, planning capabilities, and access to external tools, like web browsers, calculators, or even your company's internal software. So if you ask an LLM about your current inventory, it won't know. But an AI agent, it will recognize it doesn't know, write a query to ping your inventory database, retrieve the live data, and then use the LLM to format a coherent answer for you. The LLM is just the engine, the AI agent is the whole color. Part 3. Building intelligent AI workflows. Let's get into the tools and mechanics. So to make an AI agent actually function, we have to sequence intelligence through mechanisms like prompt chaining and AI workflows. Prompt chaining is exactly what it sounds like, honestly, taking the output of one prompt and automatically feeding it in as the input for the very next prompt. Let's say you want to automate your competitor research. In a basic setup, you'd be doing everything manually. But with prompt chaining, you build a workflow. Step 1. The system prompts the AI to scrape a competitor's website for recent press releases. Step 2. The output of that scrape is immediately changed to a new prompt that asks the AI to summarize the key product updates. Step 3. That summary is automatically piped into a final prompt that drafts a clean email briefing for your sales team. Nobody is sitting there copying pasting between a dozen tabs. The workflow seamlessly handles the logic, creating this continuous, intelligent loop of operations that just runs entirely on its own. Now, I know building these complex workflows sounds super intimidating, but it's actually made entirely accessible through a couple of specific, powerful tools, namely LangChain and Flowise. Think of LangChain as the vital framework. It's the connective tissue. It's a library of code that actually allows standard LLMs to talk to other software, access external databases, and chain those prompts together. But, coding all of that from scratch can be really tedious. And that is exactly where Flowise comes in. Flowise is a visual, drag-and-drop interface built right on top of LangChain. It takes the abstract concept of an AI workflow and turns it into literal, puzzle pieces. You can drag an LLM icon onto your screen, draw a line to connect it to a web search tool, and draw another line to connect it to your database. You are physically clicking the pieces of intelligence together to build custom agents, all without needing a PhD in computer science. Which brings us to part 4, designing intelligent analytics, focusing on next-generation systems. When we take these interconnected agentic workflows and apply them to data, we create intelligent analytics systems. For decades, business intelligence has relied on static dashboards. You log in, you stare at a bar chart, and it's entirely up to you to figure out what that chart means, why a certain metric dropped, and what you should actually do about it. Intelligent analytics flips that entire paradigm on its head. Instead of a passive dashboard waiting for you to interpret it, you have a proactive system that monitors the data, actually understands the context of your business, and flags anomalies automatically. These next-generation systems do the heavy lifting of interpretation for you. They transform raw numbers into immediate, actionable intelligence before you even realize there's a problem. This new paradigm really breaks down into 2 incredibly powerful applications: conversational analytics and recommendation agents. Conversational analytics means exactly that. You can literally have a conversation with your data. Instead of spending hours building complex SQL queries or filtering through endless spreadsheets, you simply ask the database a question in natural language. You type, "Hey, why did our sales dip in Q3 in the European market?" And the system interrogates the data, analyzes all the variables, and writes you back a plain English explanation. Recommendation agents take this a massive step further. They don't just answer questions. They actively synthesize your operational data to suggest your next best move. If that same system sees inventory dropping for a popular item, a recommendation agent doesn't just send you a low stock alert. It actually drafts the purchase order, calculates the optimal shipping routes, and simply asks for your final approval to execute the restock. Finally, part 5, real-world business applications, evaluating the impact. This is where the rubber meets the road. Because look, it's not enough to simply understand the theory of LangChain or build a really neat workflow in Flowise. The ultimate test is whether you can look at a real-world bottleneck in your own business, some process that is currently manual, painfully slow, or prone to human error, and deploy an agentic AI system to actually solve it. Evaluating these business applications means finding that exact intersection where AI agency creates real, tangible ROI. So I'm going to leave you with this. How will you apply this new toolkit to revolutionize your own industry? Because once you start executing rather than just prompting, well, it changes the whole game, doesn't it? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.